The summer of 2023 was supposed to be my reset, a chance to breathe after years of grinding through crime scenes as an FBI agent. I'd inherited my grandfather's cabin by Lake Tahoe, Nevada, weathered, cedar-scented retreat where Pop Warner, a 35-year veteran of the Bureau, taught me how to fish, respect the land, and protect what matters. He'd fought lung cancer to his last breath, never missing a day of work until the end. That cabin was his haven, our family's anchor. I thought it'd be mine too, a place to heal from the burnout that had me swallowing therapy scripts and waking up from nightmares that smelled like blood and gunpowder. But 2 days into my stay, trouble came knocking hard. Ethan Caldwell, a cocky 27-year-old with a gym bro build and a smirk that screamed trust fund kid, showed up uninvited. He didn't knock, just pushed open the screen door like he owned the place, his boots tracking mud across Pop's hand-polished floors. "Yo, Fed guy," he said, voice dripping with that entitled edge I'd heard in too many interrogation rooms. Behind him, 2 buddies lounged, hands in pockets, leaning just close enough to seem threatening without crossing legal lines. "Heard you got this old shack from your grandpa. I need it for a business deal. 50 grand, cash. Take it or leave it." He snapped his fingers like I was his waiter. I told him, calm as I could, not for sale. Should have been the end of it. But Ethan's face twisted like I'd insulted his entire bloodline. "Wrong call, Fed," he said, voice low, eyes narrowing. "You got 24 hours to rethink that." An hour later, his mother, Lorraine Caldwell, stormed up to my porch, clutching a clipboard like it was a badge of supreme authority. She had that middle-aged, I want to speak to the manager energy, the kind that makes baristas quit on the spot. "Mr. Harper," she announced, "I'm Lorraine, president of the Pineview HOA. This property violates our community standards." She shoved a stack of papers at me, cheap legal templates, wrong state laws, a letterhead from Pineview Estates HOA Compliance Division, with a logo that screamed free clip art. I skimmed them while she tapped her foot. "Ma'am, this cabin's not in your HOA," I said, keeping my cool. Her eyes flashed. "It is now? The city approved our boundary expansion. You comply, or $250 daily fines start Monday." I called the city that afternoon. After 15 minutes of hold music, a clerk confirmed what I suspected. No expansion, no fines, no authority. Lorraine wasn't just wrong, she was lying with the confidence of someone who'd done this before. By evening, the harassment kicked into gear like a well-oiled machine. At 6 p.m., trucks blocked my driveway, engines roaring, bass thumping loud enough to shake the windows. By 7, cars circled the cabin, honking every few minutes like vultures taunting roadkill. At 8 sharp, Lorraine called the cops. "Officer, this federal agent threatened my son," she wailed, loud enough for the neighbors to hear. Officer Daniels arrived, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. "Sir, report of threats," he said, notepad in hand, clearly hoping for a quick resolution. I explained Ethan's visit, my refusal, nothing more. No broken windows, no raised voices, just me, confused on my own porch. Then Lorraine swooped in, shrieking, "He's lying. He used his FBI training to scare my boy." Ethan appeared on cue, fake trembling, eyes darting like a bad actor in a low-budget thriller. The kid deserved an award for dramatics. By midnight, Lorraine had called the police 3 times, each claim wilder than the last federal surveillance. Weapons concerns, you name it. Ethan's crew kept circling, honking into the night. I fired up my laptop, digging into Lorraine's past. Property records, news archives, court filings. It was a roadmap to a nightmare. She'd done this before. Colorado, Arizona, Oregon. Same playbook, same success rate. Target government workers, isolate them, pressure them with fake legal threats and community fear until they sell cheap and flee. 7 families, 7 sales, all below market value, flipped for profit within months. This wasn't a nosy HOA Karen. This was a predator with a business model. At 3 a.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. "Mr. Harper, this is a Forest Service worker from Colorado," a tired voice said. "Lorraine hit me 2 years ago. Same tactics. I sold my house for $100,000 less than it was worth just to escape. By dawn, 2 more victims, Khalid, a teacher from Oregon, a VA clerk from Arizona. Their stories were carbon copies. Fake HOA fines, community lies, kids bullied, lives shattered. All were government workers, all isolated, all broken by Lorraine's machine. She'd weaponized their jobs, knowing communities distrust feds, especially when you whisper surveillance or tax evasion. It was calculated cruelty, and it worked every time. Day 3 brought escalation. Police calls every 2 hours, federal agents spying on kids when I grabbed my mail, weapons violation when I carried groceries. Fake HOA notices piled up, noise complaints for a silent cabin, lawn violations for grass I'd just mowed. Lorraine's research was chillingly thorough. She knew I was FBI, knew I was on stress leave, even dug up a news clipping about the case that broke Maya's civilian death I couldn't stop. But she missed one thing. Feds don't fight alone. My family's blood runs deep in law enforcement, and she was about to learn what that means. By day 5, Ethan's patience cracked. "Mom, my debts are due in 4 months." I overheard him yell in their driveway. "Stop screwing around. Gambling debts. Loan sharks." His desperation was turning dangerous. Lorraine's response was a masterclass in delusion. She held neighborhood meetings, waving photos of me mowing the lawn like it was evidence of a CIA plot. "This federal agent's building cases against us," she cried, and half the neighbors bought it. 8 families turned hostile, 7 got nervous, 5 stayed quietly supportive but avoided me when Lorraine was near. Officer Daniels, on his 5th visit, finally asked, "What's your actual job, Harper?" I kept it vague, FBI habit, but his cop instincts were waking up. "This feels organized," he muttered. Lorraine's biggest mistake came when she approached me by the lake, clipboard in hand, fake sympathy oozing. "Jacob, I know you're FBI. On leave, powerless. Perfect target for community action." Her use of my first name was a flex, proof she'd dug into my life. But she didn't know Pop Warner, my dad, a retired FBI organized crime legend whose name still opened doors in every agency. I called him that night. "Dad, these aren't neighbors. They're professionals targeting feds." His voice went cold, the tone he used taking down mob bosses. "This is federal case territory, Jake. Time to call in the family." Pop arrived the next evening, just as Lorraine was patrolling my property. She pounced, clipboard raised. "Who are you?" she demanded. "Jacob's father, visiting my son," Pop said, calm as stone. She called the cops, her 30th complaint in 2 weeks. Officer Daniels looked embarrassed just showing up. Then my sister, Emily, an ATF agent, rolled in. Lorraine lost it. "More feds," she screamed, calling the police again. "FBI family takeover." Daniels, seeing Emily's ATF badge, muttered, "Jesus, how many agents live here?" Emily grinned. "Just visiting, officer." Lorraine's midnight call to FBI headquarters was her undoing. "I'm reporting federal harassment by Jacob Harper and his father, Warner," she ranted. The operator's pause was gold. "Warner? Please hold." Pop's name triggered instant recognition. The agent who took the call knew exactly who he was, a legend who'd busted crime rings for decades. "Ma'am, you're reporting Warner Harper?" the agent asked, barely hiding a laugh. Lorraine doubled down, oblivious. "They're stealing our community." The call was transferred to a unit that took Pop's report seriously. Our family meeting over coffee and pizza felt like a war room. Pop's organized crime expertise, Emily's ATF weapons knowledge, my FBI training built a case airtight enough for federal court. Lorraine's operation was interstate fraud, civil rights violations, conspiracy. Ethan's desperation hit a boiling point that night. He stormed my cabin with a baseball bat, screaming, "Feds afraid of real violence." Pop stepped forward, disarming him with moves smoother than a training video. "Son, you just assaulted a federal family," he said, zip-tying Ethan like it was Tuesday. Lorraine's shrieks for police were useless. Daniels arrived, sighed, and said, "Ma'am, your son attacked a retired agent. This is federal now." The feds moved fast. Case number assigned. Interstate harassment of government workers. Financial Crimes Unit traced $450,000 in stolen property across 4 states. Victims gave statements, their stories breaking my heart. The teacher lost her home, her kids bullied. The VA clerk lost his career, his marriage. Lorraine had studied their weaknesses: divorces, deployments, medical bills, like a sniper picking targets. Her community manipulation was surgical, turning neighbors into pawns with lies about federal conspiracies. Lorraine's trial was a spectacle. 3 days of evidence charts, victim testimonies, Financial records laid her operation bare. She fired her lawyer, claiming government persecution, but the judge wasn't buying it. "Ms. Caldwell, you targeted public servants for profit," he said, gavel slamming. 8 years in federal prison for $100,000 in restitution, 5 years supervised release. Ethan, cooperating fully, got 4 years for assault and conspiracy, his testimony sealing Lorraine's fate. He admitted everything: victim selection, fake documents, community fear tactics. Mom said feds were easy because people hate them, he told the court, voice cracking. Victims got justice. The teacher rebuilt his life with $130,000 in restitution. The VA clerk started a security firm, protecting other feds. The community woke up, ashamed of enabling Lorraine. Property values climbed 20% once her poison left. My cabin stayed in the family, a symbol of resilience. Pop's legacy and Emily's grit turned a personal fight into a federal takedown. The Federal Employee Protection Act passed in 2024, upping penalties for targeting public servants. Our case became FBI training material, a warning to predators. Lorraine's cellmate, a disgraced mayor, spilled her secret during a visit. She hated feds because her ex-husband, a federal judge, left her over embezzlement charges, she said. This wasn't just greed, it was personal revenge against anyone with a badge. Ethan, now in victim advocacy, wrote me last month. "Your family could have ended me, but you didn't. Prison taught me consequences." Lorraine, 3 years into her sentence, still files appeals, screaming about conspiracies. Her cellmates keep transferring to escape her rants. Sitting on Pop's dock with my coffee, I review case files for the Federal Property Crime Task Force. We've saved 130 families, shut down 45 crime rings, recovered $2.5 million. Another case just hit Oregon, same playbook. My wife, a community policing agent, gets why this matters. Our kids will grow up in this cabin, knowing their family protects the vulnerable. Lorraine learned you don't mess with feds. Ethan learned actions have consequences. And our neighbors learned justice isn't just for agents, it's for everyone. What's in Lorraine's past that made her hate feds so much? Did she know her ex-husband's secrets could destroy her? Why did Ethan cry in court before anyone spoke? Share your worst harassment story below. Have you faced a Lorraine? Like, comment, and subscribe if you think justice should hit harder than a baseball bat.